डॉक्टर बाबासाहेब आंबेडकर ओपन युनिव्हर्सिटी.
Namaskar dear students and learner of this course. I am Professor Kamesh Rawal. I welcomes you in the video lecture series of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University. We are discussing here the subject called Fundamental of Computers and Information Technology. Right now we are discussing a block number 3 and unit number 2. We have already discussed something about internet. So, in the last session I think we have discussed about the internet, right. So, what actually the internet is, how the internet has been formed, and the different things which is associated with the internet that we have discussed, specifically ISP, Internet Service Provider. In the end of that particular session, we have started to do the discussion on the IP address. So, here we will see a different thing which is used in the internet. For example, what is IP address? How the IP address helps to transmit the information from one device to another device. What is domain name system? And there are so many things are there which is associated with the internet. So, let us start our today's session, and in that session we will discuss the different thing. In this particular session, we will see IP addresses into a very great detail. Then we will discuss something about the domain name. We will try to understand what actually the web mean, right. Anytime we are using websites. So, what are these websites? How we can create the websites? We will see one more term which is again associated with the internet, which is called a browser. So, what is browser and how many different type of browsers are available right now? So, that we will discuss. Finally, we will discuss how can we make a web page, right, because internet is what? It's a collection of the various websites, and websites are created by the web pages. So, what language that you need to learn if you want to make your own web page, right. So, these are the thing which is associated with the internet. So, we will see each thing in a very great detail. Okay. Let us begin with IP address. So, as we have discussed in the last session, the internet which is actually relying on the IP address of the system. So, let us suppose if there are two computers are there, right. So, both the computer will have some unique numbers which is called IP addresses, and these machines are communicating with each other by IP addresses, right. So, here the IP address is actually providing a unique identity to the particular device on the world. So, the internet is rely on the addressing system, same as our postal services. If you want to send some message to your friend, what you need to do is you need to write the message, then you need to put that message into the envelope, and on the envelope what you are doing is you are writing an address, right. Because if you are not writing the address and if you are posting that message in the post office, obviously you can understand that this message will not reach at the proper recipient, right. So, here the address is important. Where you want to send this message of that particular person's address, you have to write it down on the envelope, right. So, it is similar type of thing. There are two type of IP addressing schemes are there. One is called IP version 4. Now, in the case of IP version 4, each device who is actually connected with the internet, 32-bit long IP address will be given to that device, right. But how many different IP addresses right now we have? It's a 2 raised to 32, right, and millions of computers are there. So, let us suppose it is possible that in a nearer future we can fill a shortage of the IP addresses, right. So, the new scheme is launched, and that is called IP version 6. Here the IP version 6, right, in that IP address of any device will be of 128-bit long, right. So, it's a too much bits are increased in the IP version 6. Okay. Fine. Now, as we have discussed in the case of IP version 4, total 32 bits are used, right, and that 32 bits are used for giving a unique identification to any of the machine which is actually connected with the internet. These 32 bits are divided into a group of 4 numbers. So as I have discussed, IP address can be something like this: 192.168.1.5, something like that. So here 4 numbers are there. Now how many bits we are using? 32 bits. Okay, how many numbers are there in the IP address? 4 numbers. So if you divide this 32 bits by 4, obviously you will get 8 bits. So here your each number will be of 8 bits, right? So by using 8 bit, right, how many numbers we can represent? Obviously we know that, right? It's a 2 raised to 8, 256. So if I start from the 0, I can go up to 255. So here your 4 numbers, whatever is there in the IP address, it should not increase by 255, right? So all 4 numbers should be a lesser than 255. For example, 192.168.111.1 is a valid IP address. How we can say? Here 192 is a smaller than 255, 168 is again smaller than 255, 111 is again smaller than 255, and 1 is again smaller than 255. So all 4 numbers are lesser than 255, and due to that reason we can say this is a valid IP address. But suppose if we'll talk about 192.768.56.3, this is not a valid IP address. Why? Because here 768, it is, it's a greater than 255, right? So what is the rule for IP address? IP address actually made by a 4 numbers, and all 4 number has to be a lesser than 255, right? If you are getting any number which is more than 255, then that will not be a valid IP address. Okay, now what happened with the IP version 6? So as we have discussed, the IP version 6 uses how many? 128 bit long addressing, right? So here 128 bit is there, and total there are 8 numbers are there, and that 8 numbers are written in the form of hexadecimal, right? So here total 8 numbers are there. So if we are dividing 128 by 8, what we are getting is a 16. So here all 8 numbers are 16 bit long. Okay, all 8 numbers are 16 bit long. Okay, then how we can write the number? So obviously 16 bit we are writing in the hexadecimal. Now see, in the hexadecimal we know that to represent a single digit, right, to represent a single digit, how many bits we need? Obviously we need 4 bits. So with the help of 4 bits you can represent a single digit. How many bits we have? We have a 16 bits. So obviously 16 divided by 4. So here your each number, right, total 8 numbers are there in the IP version 6, right? We'll talk about a 1 number. So 1 number will made by 4 hexadigit, right? So 1 hexadigit 4 bits, another hexadigit 4 digits. So total 4 digits are there. So 16 bit, and 16 bit how many times? 8 times. So that will make a IP address which is 128 bit long. So here I have given one example, for example FE80. So that is a 1 number, right? This number is made from 4 hexadigits, right? So 16 bit will be used for representing FE80. Then second number will be 2B97. So again 16 bit will be there, 3095, 10C8. So how many? Total 8 numbers are there, and here each numbers are separated by a colon. If we'll talk about IP version 4, right? So in the IP version 4 there are only 4 numbers are there, and they are actually separated with the dot operator. In the case of IP version 6 we are using 8 numbers which will be separated by a colon, right? And this is a IP version 6, right? It's a recent version, latest version of the IP address. Okay, Now we'll see something about a domain name. Now one thing will come into your mind, okay sir, whenever we are opening any website, you know, we are typing something like www.facebook.com or www.twitter.com or www.youtube.com or google.com or msn.com, right? We are never writing IP addresses, right? Then how can you say machines are communicating with each other by their IP addresses? So see, here there will be a dedicated server is there, right? And let's suppose if you type a www.google.com, your machine is making a contact of that .com server, right? And .com server will gives you the IP address to your system. Once your system is knowing the IP address of the Google, then your machine can make a request to that particular IP address, and obviously that is the IP address of the Google. So Google will send you the requested page, right? And in that way the communication will be done. So see, there are different type of domains are available. For example, .com, .org, .net, .ac.in. So there are different type of domains are available. Okay, so we'll see what actually the domain names are. So for each machine on the internet, they are communicating with each other by the IP addresses, right? That is true. It is difficult for the human to memorize the IP address of a different server, right? We cannot memorize the IP address of the YouTube, Google, Facebook, etc., right? Because you know, human tendency, we are ready to memorize the names, not the numbers, right? So we never memorize what is the IP address of the YouTube, what is the IP address of the Google, what is the IP address of any other server, right? We are recognizing or memorizing their names, not the IP addresses. Domain name, right? It is a system which will convert your names into the IP addresses, because we know that the machines cannot communicate with the names. Machine can communicate with the IP addresses, and what we are giving to the machine, we are giving a names. So how the names will be converted into the IP addresses? So here the domain name systems comes into the picture. Usually to open any website, we are just opening a browser, and in the browser there is a dedicated field is there which is called the URL. It's called Uniform Resource Locator, and in that URL field we are typing name of a server. For example, www.youtube.com, www.facebook.com, and so on. The suffix of the domain is called TLD. It is called top level domain. For example, www.facebook.com. So here .com will be treated as a TLD. It is a top level domain, right? Okay. So whenever you are typing www.youtube.com, your machine is making a request to the .com server, and it will make a query that what is the IP address of YouTube. The .com server is giving you the IP address, right, of the YouTube to your system, and later on your system is actually sending a request to that particular IP address on which the YouTube has hosted their website. Different type of TLDs are there. Here are some information. For example, .com, basically .com is used for the commercialized companies, right? So suppose if somebody is making a product and they want to sell the product, they want to market their product, right? So in that case, obviously they need to book a domain which is having a .com, right? So .com is for commercialized purpose. Then .edu is there for the educational purpose. .gov is there, which is basically used by the governments. Then MIL for the military purpose, ORG for the organization, .net is there for the network provider, right? So different type of domain TLDs are there, right? So based on what type of organization is there, they need to book the domain, right? Now we'll talk about something. About a web, right? So frequently we are using this term or terminology called a website, right? So the internet, which is actually developed in the late 1960s, the web or www, which is called World Wide Web, which emerged in 1990, right? It is an easier method to access the information which is available on the server, right? So, if you want to gain any information, you can search it on the Google, and then Google will gives you a different websites. Google will recommend you different websites. You can go on that particular website where you can get the information whatever is required, right? It is an easier method to access the information available on the server using browser online, right? The web is a collection of worldwide websites. So, the web is what? It is made by a lot of small different websites. For example, for your university you will get a dedicated website, right? For the other university, they are also have their own websites. So, different universities are making their own website, different companies are making their own websites, and if we connect all the websites, right, which is in the world, it is called www, World Wide Web. So, web is actually a collection of the different websites made by different organizations, right? Okay. Now, if web is a collection of the different websites made by different organizations, then what is website? Websites are collection of web pages, right? So, for example, if you are visiting your university's website, you can see there are multiple pages are there. Every page will gives you a different type of information, right? So, here the website, it is a collection of related web pages which is associated items such as some text document will be there, audio will be there in the web page, video will be there in the web page, image can be there on the web page. So, the web page can have anything, that can have text data, that can have video, audio, any information that we can embed into the web page. Okay, web pages are electronic document, right, and which provides information and are stored in a spatial computer which is called a web server. So, the web pages having a different information, right, in a different format, right, that can be a text format, that can be a video format, and all those web pages we have placed on one machine, and that machine is known as a web server, right? Okay, how can you navigate in the web? So, devices from which we access the web page is called a client computer, right? So, let us suppose if you say, sir, I am accessing my university's website, then your machine will act as a client machine, right? You are sending a request, the request will goes to the server, web server, where your university's websites are hosted, right? University has placed the web pages on that particular machine. So, our machine will act as a client machine. We are sending a request, and obviously request will be received by that web server. Web server will find out that particular page and it will be delivered to your machine, right? Okay. To access the website, we need to use a specialized software called the browser, right? So, the software which we are using to browse any website is called a browser, right? Different type of browser softwares are available, and what are those software? Obviously, that we will discuss into the next slide. Okay. So, browsers are having a specialized field which is called the URL, where you are typing address of the name of the website. For example, if you type www.google.com, right? So, where you are typing this google.com, you are typing in the URL field of the browser, right? Browser now send this request to the web server as we have discussed, and web server will find out that particular page and it will be given to your computer, and that is called a response. So, whatever packet we are sending as a client, it will be a request, right, and the page will be delivered, right, to you, to your machine by the web server is called a response. So, here you are sending a request and web server will gives you the response, right. client and web server machines are communicating with each other through some protocol, right? And it is a stateless protocol. Stateless means there is no persistent connectivity will be maintained with the client and server, right? The browser is actually establishing a connectivity with the server, it is sending a request, and then the connection will be broken out. Similarly, the server will establish a connectivity with the client, it will send a response, and again the connection will be broken out. So here the client and servers are actually doing a communication with each other by using one protocol, and that protocol is nothing, it is called HTTP protocol. HTTP, which stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol, right? Industry expert introduced the new version of the web is called Web 2.0, right? 2.0 to refer the website that provides a mean for users to share personal information such as a social network, right, which allows user to modify the content of the website and to provide dynamic and interactive website. So nowadays, you know, if you are making a website by using one specific tagged language which is called HTML, we can say that type of website is a static website, right? But you know, if nowadays there are, you know, many different technologies are there, you can embed a PHP code, right? It's called preprocessor hypertext with the HTML, and you can make a dynamic and interactive website. You can use a C# .NET or VB.NET kind of .NET languages, and you can make a dynamic and interactive websites. So nowadays most of the websites are using this technology called PHP, you know, this .NET technology. So nowadays most of the websites are, you know, based on dynamic and interactive websites. The software, the client software which actually make a request for the particular web page to the web server, it's called, that software is called a browser, right? So the software which we are using for browsing any website is a browser. Different type of browsers are available. Like Google has made its own browser which is called the Google Chrome. Netscape company has made one more browser which is called Netscape Navigator. Then Firefox is there. Internet Explorer, this is again this is a product of Microsoft. Microsoft has recently introduced a new browser which is called Microsoft Edge, right? So Microsoft has made two browsers, Internet Explorer and Edge. Opera, that is one more browser. Apple company has introduced their own browser which is called Apple Safari. So here these are the different type of browser. You can choose any browser, right, and you can make a request to the particular website, to the particular web server, and you can see that particular information which is coming from the web server into your browser, right? So the details of the browser we have written in the book. You just go through the book and you can see the what actually things offers by the Chrome, what thing will be offered by the Firefox or Internet Explorer and so on, right? But right now you should know the browsers are the software which help us to browse any website, right? By using a browser we can send the request to the particular server and the server will deliver the page, and that page we can visualize in the browser software, right? Different type of browsers are available in the market. They are Chrome, Firefox, Internet Explorer, Edge, Opera, Safari, etc., etc. Now how can we design the web page? So obviously, as we have discussed, websites, you know, are made from the different web pages. Web pages is an electronic document where you can put your textual data, video data, video, audio, picture, anything you can put on the web page, right? Now to this the web pages are actually linked with each other. You know, sometimes when we are surfing, you are getting a blue link, and if you are just moving your mouse pointer, it will turn to the finger, and if you click on that particular link, obviously you will be redirected to the another page. So here the pages, web pages are interlinked, they are interconnected, and this link is known as what it is called a hyperlink, right? So hyperlink, right, which actually link two separate pages, right? A link on the web which refers to the another web page is called hyperlink. To design a web page, a special language is used, and that language is called HTML language. So if you want to learn how can we make a static web pages, then you have to learn one markup language which is known as HTML. What is the full form of HTML? It is called Hypertext Markup Language. Okay, see, this is not a language, right? It is a markup language. So here there are predefined tags are there, and you are bounded to use all those predefined tags, right? So HTML is the one tag, head is the another tag, body is the another tag, and this type of tags are there. Okay, if you want to make a dynamic and interactive website, then you need to learn a certain languages like VB.NET, C#.NET or PHP language, and you can mix this languages with the HTML, and you can make your dynamic and interactive website or web pages. Okay, what thing if you want to communicate right with anybody by using internet, then there are several things are there. Internet offers you a few things are there, and here we have mentioned all this thing, right? First, let's suppose if you want to send some message to your friend. So in a earlier days we are actually posting a letter, right? But nowadays we are using an email, right? So by using the email, what you can do is you can send, if you have your friend's email address, then you just draft the letter, and you can send that particular letter to your friend by using his or her email address, right? So email allows you to send the messages and receive the messages. Fine. The another by using a chat, you can communicate with your friend. There is a special protocol is there which is called VoIP, which stands for voice over internet. So here you can use the internet to make telephone calls, right? Let's suppose if your friend is in the USA, if you are in the India, and if you want to make a phone call, so here you can make a phone call to your friend by using VoIP. It's called voice over internet protocol. Fine. With the help of FTP, you can transfer the file from one machine to another machine, right? So these are the services which will be provided by the internet, right, which is related to the communication. Fine. So I think sufficient discussion we have made today, right? And I think now you can have a broad idea about the internet, right? So in our today's session, we have discussed what is IP address in a very detailed manner. We have discussed a domain name system. We have discussed something about different languages which can be used to make a different type of web pages. We have understood what actually a web is, right, and what is website. So these are the things, these are the technology which has been used into the internet. Fine. Now once we have discussed something about the internet, obviously the internet is actually providing a lot of facility to you, but here there are several threats are there, right? So you have to protect your system while you are enjoying the services which will be offered by the internet. So what are that security threats are there? How can we protect our system? So obviously in the next unit we will do the detailed discussion on the various threats and security issues. I think today sufficient discussion we have made. Now we will meet into the next session and we will discuss something about internet threats and securities. Till then, take care and bye bye.